I am a chartered accountant by training, had a 30-year career with Deloitte in professional services, and amongst other things, I'm now a charity board member of a charity called Concordia and another charity, Brighton Hove and Brighton Festival. I'd done some work and voluntary work for charities during the course of my career, but not that much due to time constraints. So when I stopped working full-time and started building a portfolio career, I was really keen for trustee roles to be a part of that. The first board meetings I was involved in were in some ways not that different to corporate board meetings, which I'm very familiar with. But there are some differences, I think, particularly in terms of the membership of the boards feels very different, in many ways much more diverse. That was surprising. But I think actually it's the similarities. These are all businesses. They are charities, but they're actually businesses that have a slightly different purpose. And so actually they were perhaps more familiar than I was expecting. Generally speaking, these organisations are smaller than some that I've been used to dealing with. But the professionalism, the governance is actually very, very impressive for small organisations that have quite a big impact. I think all charity boards will look for someone with finance experience because that's important. But the other point I've noticed is it's not the only thing. So in my career, I've also had experience of leading teams, of managing large groups of people, of dealing with difficult staff situations, and actually all of those things come to play. So I think the thing to take away from it is absolutely your specific professional skill set that is valuable, but it's not just that, it is the wider experience, and I found it very rewarding to be deploying all of those things that I've learned over my career. In my experience, charity boards are more diverse actually than some of the corporate boards that I've been involved with during the course of my career. And that's what's interesting. They'll tend to have, yes, people from finance, often someone with a legal background and so on, but they'll also have people with charity backgrounds who are very expert on the particular cause of charity, and often they'll have people who are involved in other charities. And so they're bringing very different perspectives. And what I found really interesting and enriching really to be a part of is hearing all of those different perspectives. And the fact that the purpose of the organisation is at the heart of the conversation. Finance is an important part of that, but it's not actually the purpose of the organisation. So yeah, there's been a lot of learning in that area. I would say do it. But I would also say get educated before you do. It is a bit different, particularly people who've come from a corporate background, and it's worth doing your homework first. And I think all of us who are trustees now would say that it's worth thinking about what you want to do and with whom and with what organisation and what are you really passionate about, because that's how you'll land the role and that's how you'll find the role the most rewarding.